What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy JDiesel coming at you with the next installment of Under the Radar. And here with me, as always, my partner in crime, co-host, Master FloKey. How you doing today, Flo?
I'm gonna be real with y'all, 100%. This week is gonna be crazy. One, it's my birthday this week. Two,
Oh.
I have to run a local this week, kind of, sort of, whole can of worms. And three, I'm gonna be at TSL and Super TSB. So, come say hey. Come talk to me about the podcast, please. We need things. But yeah, everything's been good. How are you doing, Jay?
I am doing excellent. I came off a fantastic weekend at April Annihilation. It was absolutely beautiful. I got blown up on stream.
Yeah.
I got blown up by Lowry. I have to hold that L. My off stream games went a little bit better. I'm out at 33rd. Could have been better, could have been worse, but I got an absolutely phenomenal time on the desk doing commentary, as I love to do. So, you know what? I did pools, I did top 32, and I really can't ask for more than that. But we'll get more into April Annihilation in a minute. Before that, why don't you introduce yourself, the man, the Vegeta Blue legend, Pivot Ace.
Yo.
Vegeta Blue, not Vegeta.
Yo, Vegeta, he's like, correct him. Yo, they ain't fused together.
Yeah, it's just Vegeta. But my tag in tournament is Pivot Ace, but my name is Tice. If you ever see me around, you can just call me Tice. But I am known right now as being the best Vegeta Blue player in the world. I started competing in about January with KIT in Tennessee. Was my first tournament. I've been playing fighting games pretty much my whole life, but I never really had the opportunity to travel. I've been watching these tournaments since I was probably in like elementary school. So I finally was able to go to a tournament at KIT, and since I got third at that tournament, I got pretty well known pretty fast, just especially from like the Memphis guys, because they came up to me after I was playing, and they were like, "So where are you from, man?" I was just like, I'm from Memphis, and they're like, "We have a guy that's good at Dragon Ball from Memphis," and I was like, "Why the hell aren't you in like the Discord? Why the hell aren't you playing with us?" And I was like, "I don't know, man." Like I always assumed Memphis did have one, but I never really like bothered to look into it. So I'd basically been an online warrior since forever, and then going to KIT, and since then I went to KIT, I went to Frosty Faustings, and then Final Round was my latest one.
Yeah, we met at Final Round, so like so that's the KSAC kind of introducing each other. Man, the man's beer is cooler, is on another level. But that's really interesting, the fact that your first tournament was KIT in January. So wow. That's Jay, I don't know about you, but that's a little mind blowing.
I mean, that's a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time.
No, definitely. So tell us, before we talk about more Memphis and Tennessee and that kind of stuff, tell the people so how long have you been playing Blugeta for?
Probably it was like a couple months after the game came out. So
Really?
like when the game first came out, my very first team I stuck with for a little bit was Adult Gohan, Trunks, Super Saiyan Vegeta. And then, I was just playing that for a bit because there were so many characters I wanted to play. Like I wanted to play Gotenks, I wanted to play Trunks. I liked, obviously Adult Gohan. There's like a bunch of other characters I liked. And then later down the line, I switched over to Kid Buu because I kept getting blown up by Kid Buu's. And then like Bardock came out, and I was a filthy Bardock player for like a month. And then I was playing the game, and I was like, why the hell is nobody playing Vegeta Blue? Like he is the only character I haven't seen. I've even seen Krillin's. I saw Beerus's. I was like, but this character I know nothing about. So normally those characters interest me in fighting games. So I was like, let's see what I can do with them, right?
Right.
So I went into training mode with them, and I was like labbing some stuff, and I was like, this character isn't that bad. Like he's not garbage at all. And so I basically took it as a challenge upon myself to see like what I can do with this character. And after enough labbing, I figured out that Gotenks Yamcha, this was way before Gotenks Yamcha became like the shell. I was rocking Vegeta Blue Gotenks Yamcha. And I was like, this is the best team for him because Gotenks in the air gives him meterless command grab, and then Yamcha gives him the extra extensions and all that. And Yamcha assist was already pretty known as like the best assist, but Kazunoko was the only big name Yamcha player.
Yeah.
Right.
But so people used to come to my stream all the time and be like, dude, Vegeta Blue Gotenks Yamcha, that's such a unique team. And then like as how the meta changes, and everybody was like, "You're just a filthy Gotenks Yamcha player. Like, who cares about the Vegeta Blue? You just stick it behind the strongest shell."
OD.
Yeah, I was like, "Come on."
It's like I'm trying my best here.
I was
like-
the original. My team used to be so unique, and now I'm just like everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a tough mix, right? You play something since day one, it gets buffed, and then the bandwagoners come in, and you get caught in the crossfire, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, you're just a bandwagoner. It's like, pull the VOD, pull the footage.
Literally, the
I've
very
been
first
here.
character.
Check my.
I know. The very first character I put in the training mode when the game launched was Gotenks. And then everyone was like, "You're just a filthy Gotenks Yamcha player." I was like, "I guess you're right, dude. What do I know?"
Yeah, I mean that's how I am with me too. Like I've been playing Gohan, Piccolo Gohan since day one, and then I pick up Goku like mid March, April. So like I've been technically playing this team for a year, but it's like you're just a filthy Piccolo Goku player.
I know, it's a good time to be a Piccolo player.
It's all good. Yeah, actually, too. Fun fact: I actually played Blugeta a bit. I played Blugeta Yamcha for like I had no idea what to do with it, but
Yeah.
that show is so good. Yeah, a little parched. But yeah, Blugeta. So you've been playing this character for a long time, so you've kind of seen all the ups and downs with the character. Because I know for a while, Gotenks is like the prime suspect for Blugeta. Like you can't really have a team without that because again with the meatless command grabs stuff like that. So what gravitates you to him still comparatively to the rest of the cast?
So, like I said, when I originally picked him up, it was because I like to mess around with characters that nobody plays, just to see what I can do with them. And that's like one of my favorite parts of fighting games is all the different character archetypes and all that stuff. So,
Right. Yeah.
and the reason I still play him to this day is like, so let's say I pick up a fighting game and I'm like, I really like this character. Like nobody plays him. It doesn't even have to be that nobody plays him, but I really like this character. And I play matches, and then I gauge from when I play matches. If I seriously think I'm losing matches because of the character I play, that's usually when I drop them. And it doesn't even have to be a tier list thing. It can just be play style. Like maybe my play style doesn't fit, whoever. But there was never really a moment where I was like, I'm losing because I'm playing Vegeta Blue, right?
Yeah.
So, I've kind of just stuck with this character to this point. And you're talking about the Gotenks thing, about how you basically needed Gotenks to play with him, which I do think was true. I used to see so many Vegeta Blue players, and they always had these weird teams, and they stick them on like Anchor, or they do this other stuff. So before the patch, he was pretty much a bona fide point character, because he was a character with bad neutral, but really good mix-ups, and he needs the assist to set up the mix-ups.
Yep.
Now in Season 2, they flip-flopped him. So now he's got really good neutral, and his mix isn't as great anymore. He can still kind of get it, but it's not. He can't do it into a true block string.
Right.
So they flip flopped him, but so now I've been playing this, like, I'm sure you're gonna get to it, but I've been playing I guess the last team I competed with offline was 17 Vegeta Blue Yamcha, which is a weird ass team.
Oh, I saw that team. That's that blew me back a little bit. Because I was like, I had never seen a squad like that. Not even close.
Okay, so I'm known for Vegeta Blue, right? But there was a period before the patch, for like a little bit, probably like 2 or 3 weeks, I was playing 17 because I guess I'm a masochist. But I was like, this character is straight garbage, but I'm like, he's kind of fun because sometimes getting hits with characters like that, it feels so rewarding, man. You just land like a barrier and somebody super dashes into it and you're like, ugh, and you do like 2K. You're like, yeah, I'm playing 17. But I was like, the first like week that I played with him, I don't think I won a single match. I was playing him with Trunks and Yamcha. I was like, I can't even do anything.
Yeah.
And then I originally settled on like 17 Super Saiyan Vegeta Yamcha, just stuck him behind 2 really good assists. But now, so Season 2 patch comes along, and they made him a real character. And because he can now true block string into the Rekka, they buffed his normals a bit, so he's not as awful in scrambles. And so with the Vegeta Blue, I mean, I kind of just stuck him on there because the new Gotenks is kind of weird. I still think Gotenks is really good, despite the Season 2 nerfs. I mean, he got shot more than anybody. Like, they didn't really nerf too many characters too hard, but they gave Gotenks a bullet to the head.
Yeah, they did not want that character being tip-top anymore. Not even close.
So I was, like, messing around, and I had the Arkansas Special, which is the monthly I go to. and I was like, I really don't want to play Gotenks. And so I stuck 17 in a lab for like 2 hours, and then I was like, I guess I'll compete with him. And so I went and I played him. I didn't even lose a match that whole day, but I wasn't really sure if it was like all of a 17 thing or if it was just I was playing really well that day. But
Yeah.
you can. So the team itself, I've been playing Vegeta Blue for so long that I'm good with his assist, right? His assist has a big learning curve, which is one of the weirdest things about playing Vegeta Blue.
It really is.
And now since he kind of flip-flopped from a good neutral character, he doesn't have to be a point character anymore. So 17 can set up Vegeta Blue assist pretty easily, along with I get 0 bar touch of deaths off any 5M hit, which is pretty good. You can do that in the corner, mid-screen. You can do that anywhere because 17,
Wow.
even before the patch, was a 2-touch kill character. Like he has the best meter gain in the game, close to, I guess Vegeta might like barely be above him, but his rec is built like a bar each hit for no reason. And so when sparking, he built like a bar and a half per like Rekka string. So if you have characters that can help him extend that a lot. So I guess the point of this team right now is I haven't really been able to perfect it, but I was trying to think of a way to play this team in that like if I land a hit with 17, I'm gonna spark and you're gonna die, and I'm gonna kind of like take it like a mini Fenrich team.
I was
like,
gonna say that's right out of
What?
Fenrich's book, but
Yeah.
with a
That's
completely
crazy to
different
think about.
roster.
That's
Yeah.
definitely crazy. Like, no,
Fenrich is somebody like I super respect too, because everybody, I'm sure we'll get onto this and we'll talk about like the Dragon Ball scene as a whole, but I've been seeing so much stuff about these American players recently and all their character crises and how they just can't stick with the character and they constantly blame the characters that they're playing.
yeah.
And like I said, I have nothing wrong with you changing characters. Like if you honestly think that the character you're playing is hindering you from winning, then switch.
Yeah.
But I'm
Right.
seeing these players like every other day. They're saying new teams, and it's like it's the Zamasu wave now, and then they can't play neutral with Zamasu, so they take him off, and then they're like, well, now I guess I'll just be a Piccolo player, and then they play him for like a day, and then they're like, can't win with him, and so that's why I've been sticking with this, sticking with Vegeta Blue and Yamcha. Yamcha's my most played character in the game, actually, just
Yeah,
like
really
match wise. Yeah.
Okay.
Vegeta Blue's second, obviously, but
Yeah.
like I still need to grow as like a player, obviously, and I still don't think it's my team. Like if final round, if any of these tournaments I've been to weren't like my first, second, or third tournaments, I would have gotten top 8 at everything. I got top 8 at KIT.
Yeah.
I was 1 hit away from beating Dogra at final round, and then Frosty.
I was watching that. That was
Yeah. I took a game 1. That's exactly how I feel. I'm still mad about it because I took game 1 because I went in the final round and I was like,
convincingly.
so at KIT, I didn't really have any expectations. So I guess that's why I kind of did so well is I didn't really think about anything because I was like, this is my first tournament. I mean, I have confidence in myself, but I've never played offline and we'll just see how I do. I wind up getting third, and then I go to Frosty and I'm kind of like, that's when like the pressure starts setting in because I'm like, I'm actually good enough to win. Now, can I do it? And then I wind up choking. Yeah, can I execute? And then I wind up choking against Cloud, and then I'm done after my pool. There's like a 6-hour wait until I have to play again, and I wasn't prepared for that. And then I wound up just getting washed after that. But then final round, I was like, okay, I'm going to win the first match of every single set. I'm going to set the tempo, and I'm going to give myself a game. Like, if I take game 1, they can take the second game, and then I can adapt, which I actually wound up doing. But so I take the first match against Dogra, but that's when it set in, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I was like, I'm actually going to beat him. I'm going to beat Dogra. Like, I spent so much time visualizing this. Like, I was thinking for like 2 weeks, every single night. I wasn't like sleeping. I was like, I have to beat Dogra. I was watching all of his matches. I knew exactly what he was going to do. He did this. He does the same exact fucking thing at the start of every round with Kid Buu. I knew exactly what he was going to do. I was like, he always backdash 2S, call Goku. And I was like, I was punishing that shit. And then it started hitting me. I was like, oh God, I'm actually doing it.
It's working.
I know. And then my hand started to shake.
Oh no.
And then I lost the second game. But here's where I got really bad. So then I lost the second game and I was like, okay. And then the third game rolls around and we're kind of going back and forth. And I forget what happens, but I lose. I guess it would be Yamcha. And then I'm down to Solo Vegeta Blue. And he has Kid Buu and Goku. and I kill Kid Buu. And then I'm really like, I'm about to run this back on Dogura, beat Dogura with a solo Vegeta Blue comeback. I was like, this isn't real. Like, there's no way I could do this with this character. And then my hands, and then all I heard was like my heartbeat. And then it all ended because I did a jump. I jumped back at round start, and he super dashed. And I thought he was going to go to the other side. And I fucking held forward, and he just jabbed me in my face, and I died.
Yeah.
And I was
No,
like,
Oh.
Man.
I watched that live. My heart
everybody was watching that.
sank. Heart sank. Like, you had the entire room backing you. Like,
But that's just what it means to be a top player. Like, it's
Yep.
not just player
is.
skill. Like,
It
in
really
terms
is.
of player skill, I could beat anybody. But
it's
in
so
terms,
good.
but I don't have the experience. So like that just comes into being a top player, which is something that you can never prepare for online.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
gotta have that mental game is not gonna be forged online. Like you can
Yeah.
get all the tech skill, you can get the habits, but when it comes to like the crowd's popping off, everybody's behind you, you can hear the roar of the crowd through your headphones.
Yeah, every single time I landed,
Right,
a command
like
grab,
that's
dude, it was like, ugh! I was like, okay, guys, chill out.
Yo,
Like
that
I
was-
need the
I
concentrate.
bet you that was just me. I bet you that was just
It might
me.
have been you. Somebody
Oh
right
my
behind me
God.
was yelling, but
No!
I had headphones in, my music full blast. I couldn't even hear it. Like all I heard was them yelling. I heard like my heartbeat. But
Yeah,
because if
that's-
you're playing online, if you lose, you can always just queue up again.
You
Like
can just
you
hit
can
the
always find
rematch
another
button.
match. Yeah,
Yep.
hit the rematch
Totally.
button. You can go. You can always keep playing. In tournament, there's nothing to prepare you for. Hey, if you lose this match, you're done playing. Like you don't get to play anymore.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
No, but yeah, dude, that yeah, no, like I was like that. I had that same feeling. I found like I had to play Pred, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, like, am I really about to come back with Goku? And I did, but then it kind of like I was burnt out. So I was like having that like the mentality, like the mental stability to like keep pushing through those kinds of times. It really like shows the fruition of a top player. That's kind of going through the ranks and stuff like that. But yeah, so after final round, patch drops. Blugeta gets, I want to say he gets a sword. He
A
gets
sword.
he gets low-key Excalibur. Because listen, man, when I found out that I was able to do 2S into command grab, my life changed. It was, but yeah. How do you feel about season 2 Blugeta?
Okay, I said he flip flopped. So he went from a bad neutral character with good mix before the patch to a good neutral character, and I'll explain why with bad mix or not bad mix, but it's just different in this patch. Honestly, I don't think he moved at all. Like, because he was mid tier beforehand. I know everybody can go and retweet their Hook Gang God tier list of him being bottom 3 or all this shit, but they don't know what they're talking about. And like, he was mid tier beforehand because he's got Vegeta's normals. I mean, he had good mix. He wasn't like, he was kind of similar to Android 18 or something where,
Right.
she just needs to get in. But once she gets in, she can probably get a hit off of it.
Needs that
But-
initial setup. Needs help with that, getting
Yeah.
that initial set.
Yeah, 100%.
And so since they just flip flopped him, like his neutral tools are good now in the sense that Big Bang Attack is OD.
It's so good.
Not only did they increase how fast it was, so now you can react to it if they super dash into you pretty like fast. He already has a really good jump L for hitting out a super dash anyway, all the Vegetas do. But then they made it less punishable. Like it has a less recovery now.
It's
So when
good.
when I played it at Arc Special last month, I was like, damn, I can really just throw this out. Like you can't punish me for it. Obviously, like you can still jump up and get super dash over it, but if they're not already in that position, you really aren't going to get punished for it.
Right.
And also the command grabs themselves are like pretty good now.
Yeah, they're so
The
good.
command grabs before the patch were the worst moves in the game, period. Like they were the worst set of moves out of any character, maybe than 17's wall cling. So 17 might hold that reign now for wall cling being the worst move. But since now he can get confirms off of it, also it having faster recovery as well in neutral, and it does track better.
Yeah.
So you can kind of just catch people out there doing stuff like that. So he can kind of make you play it like his pace now, where normally you just be like bullying him around. He's always had Rekka, which is just kind of like gimmicky neutral since it's like an air auto combo because it auto corrects. But
Yeah.
that's easily punishable by super dash. But
It's the truth, yeah.
Yeah, him being able to like control neutral better, I think, is cool. I wish they kind of debated all of us because they were like, when we saw the initial patch notes, the tweet was like, Vegeta Blue's Wreck is extremely buffed in
Oh
all
my
caps.
God! I remember I remember
Yeah.
on the podcast we saw the word extremely,
And
and we were
like,
trying to
does
figure out
that
what the
even
hell that could
mean?
mean,
I
right?
thought he was gonna be the new adult, like old adult Gohan. I thought he was gonna be able to string that shit. It's gonna be plus, and then he can go back into
Dude,
it.
Oh
I
my
And then they
thought
were
God!
like,
I thought
it's
it'd be so
actually
good.
they're actually -8. And they're
Are
like,
you serious?
oh yeah, his records are -8.
Oh,
If you don't finish the record string, you get straight M punished.
that
Ooh.
hurts me. That hurts. That hurts to think about. But yeah, Big Bang Attack. I was playing my friend yesterday. I literally Big Bang attacked like Frieza's discs, like for free.
Oh yeah, I was doing that.
Oh
I was playing Bishop at Arkansas, and he was playing Frieza, and he kept doing round start like 214L or 236, where he makes the big explosion.
Yep.
So I was doing round start Big Bang, and the initial hit of the Big Bang would clash with the explosion, and then the second hit where he'd shoot it off would punish Frieza.
Wait,
I
so
was
the
like,
projectile
that's
wouldn't
OD.
trade; it would win.
Yeah, because the initial Big Bang is 2 hits.
Oh.
So the initial hit would eat Frieza's explosion.
So good. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
honestly, since they sped that up, Big Bang Attack always connects now, like both hits.
Yeah.
It used to be a hit stun thing. If there was too much hit stun and you tried to end a combo, let's say Dragon Rush into Big Bang, they would flip out. The
Right.
first hit of Big Bang would make them flip out, but now it'll always hit.
That's a nice quality of life thing. Actually,
Yeah.
you touched on something interesting. You mentioned like with Hook Gang God's tier list, right? Where Blugeta gets put bottom 3. What is it that other players just aren't recognizing or don't seem to understand about Blugeta that puts him as a solid mid-tier character as opposed to a low-tier character?
It's not just Vegeta Blue in general. They do this with every single fighting game, and I'd say it's more so American players because
Oh, okay.
they don't really like. If you ever see a person, there's a few top American players every now and then in fighting games, but they all kind of stick to the same teams. They play like the top 5 to 10 most
Yeah.
of the time, and they don't really ever experiment with the other characters. And if they do, it's not for like online for a little bit, or they just troll with the characters. So it wasn't really a thing that if they had seen me play before he made those tier lists, he probably would have put them higher. But since they didn't see somebody that knew how to play the character well, or just see how to play any of the characters well, they're gonna rate them lower just because
The character's
like,
unproven.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just unproven, and people don't go into the lab and see for themselves, which is
Yeah.
why, like, I could Logie was watching the match when I was playing against Joker. I hit him with 2 empty lows after the
Yeah,
Rekka mix block string I do, that mix up I do, and you can fuzzy block that, but
yeah, you have
people
a lot
always
of
tell me like
options.
you could just fuzzy block that. I'm like, well, I'm sure people will do that, but like
People
I'm
don't.
sure Dogra has never played a Vegeta Blue player. Tachikawa played him for like a week, but that's they don't even play each other.
That
and they don't
character
even, like,
unfamiliarity.
is so
yeah.
big.
So, like, imagine if I was a more experienced player. Like, he might have lost that whole match because he wasn't familiar with the character. I'm not saying you have to be a master of every character, but like, if you have these questions about a character, especially if you're going to publish a tier list, like, know what you're talking about like the whole cast. At least have a basic idea. We know why Krillin's pretty bad. We knew why Android 17 was so bad before the patch. Like, people knew, but then nobody really knew about Vegeta Blue, and they were just like, I guess he's bottom 3 because nobody plays him. And
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to me how you can have Super Saiyan Vegeta like top 10, 15. You have base Vegeta as mid, and then you have the third Vegeta as bottom 3. It's like they're
That's right.
based on the same character. You know that, right? Like,
The
Yeah.
the normals are all relatively congruent.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like all 3 characters are like you can kind of like have like different aspects. Like Goichi, he dropped the Cyclops Gaming tier list. They actually, if I remember correctly, had Blugeta as not enough info.
yeah, that's a
Which
good way to
is
put it.
smart, which is
Yeah.
smart. Because then, like, it kind of goes back to what you said before, where it's like you have more time with the character to actually like sit down with it. For all we know, right? Like months down the line, what if like Goichi just starts playing Blugeta and then you're just like, oh wow, okay, like. Then
I mean,
people would understand like what's going like, or someone to start to see like people like you, Tack from this weekend. He's also another Blugeta player. that I know really well. So it's kind of like you guys are putting the character on the map for the most part. I don't see anybody else in the States playing this character to the level you guys are.
Yeah, I know there's other Vegeta Blue players out there, but
There's not a lot. You
there's
think?
not that many. I think he's one of the least represented characters in the game, period. But
Yeah.
I wish I could have done better. I mean, I still have my tournament career to go on. You know, I just started competing, but people pretty much ignored my placing at KIT. All they were talking about was Jazz Rap winning with 17, and then they were like, "I can't believe no Kami got sent home, even though I was the one who sent him home."
Yeah,
People
I
weren't
was
really,
watching that.
yeah, people weren't really paying attention to that. They were pretty much just talking about Jazz Rap, and I'm not saying like give me all the credit or something. Like, you know, it is what it is.
nonsense.
Yeah.
But and then at like Frosty and Final Round, I obviously underperformed to my own standards, but people are gonna mostly base their tier list off tournament placings. Like I saw someone in the chat say, tournament results makes tier list, which is kind of true. Well, it's like obviously true because the top players are going to base it on what other top players are playing. But since it's so hard to find the players that not only play different characters but are good enough to win with them, that understand that it's you yourself as a player that makes you better, it's not going to be your character pick. And like I could switch over to Bardock, Piccolo, and whoever if I wanted, but I probably wouldn't do as good as I am with the team I have right now. Maybe not the 17 team right now since it's still a work in progress, but before the patch, like my Vegeta Blue Gotenks Yamcha team was probably the best team I could have been playing.
Right.
Dude, that team was like the way like it just comes down to preference too. Like kind of like because Jay before the show, he was talking to me personally about maybe possible team switch.
Yep.
I found it really interesting that like this game is kind of taking a turn. You either are playing a meta team or you're playing a team that's unique to your style, and you're like maybe the one or two people that are playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Tachikawa is the best example of that. I don't know why nobody really talks about Tachikawa and like what he does with his weird ass team. Like he's been kind of having a character crisis recently, but that 18 hit Frieza team is not good. Like but like, Tachikawa has such a good understanding of the game that he can just like make it work. Dragon Ball, despite what everybody says, especially offline, like don't judge it by online play, but it is so neutral based that
so
it's like if you're just most of the time you're going to win if you have the better neutral. Like if you're just a good player that understands the neutral you can catch on your opponent's habits, like it's so neutral heavy that people seem to overlook that because they're like, well, super dash is in the game and then you can call assist anytime. But
well, I think the other part is I think a lot of the game, especially towards the higher level, it gets boiled down to if your team doesn't create 50-50 situations, your team is trash. And I've heard plenty of upper mid to high level players talk about this. It's like your team needs to be degenerate. If your team is not doing something degenerate, why are you playing that team?
Yeah.
Like at this point, I feel like there's almost a Bardock test where whatever team you have, somebody's going to say, well, why don't you replace X character with Bardock? And you have to have a reason, right? You have to be able to defend why you are playing X character over Bardock. And if you can't provide a good answer, then it's, possible that, yeah, your team would be better if you just put Bardock in that slot. Now, granted, personal play styles can influence how effective you're going to be with the character.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a certain amount of this character has X tools and this character doesn't have X tool. And that changes what type of situation they're going to be effective in at a baseline.
100%.
Yeah. Because when it gets, you're talking about your team needing to be degenerate at the highest level. They say that because when you're playing against players that have such a good understanding of the game and have such good defense, that sometimes getting that one hit is so hard. And then when you get that hit, you got to make the most out of it, and you got to be able to steamroll that.
Yep.
Now, as good as Goichi is, and everybody knows about his defense and all that, like every time he lands a hit now, because they buff Piccolo for whatever reason, he gets 60% in the snap, and then he's doing his universal fuzzy shit, and that has to be so demoralizing. Like playing against a guy as good as Goichi, and he has that on top of it.
You spend like half the game trying to crack him open once, and meanwhile, all of your team's like bleeding super heavily, and you've got no resources.
It's like, you've got 40%. He's got 7 bars always. Like he's just like
he's already he has Shenron on speed dial. Hey,
I need
man,
the
can I
second
call you
sparking,
in,
man.
20 minutes? Like,
Yeah.
something around. Oh, okay. Nice talking to you. You know.
And my team before the patch, obviously, with how ridiculously good Gotenks was, like I could get that because I ran Gotenks point after I think Frosty
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm losing so many point character matchups with Vegeta Blue. I was like, let me just put Gotenks on there because that'll just make everything a lot easier. And I was doing the BS snap stuff where you just do M Blade in the air, and I could do it with Vegeta Blue assist too, on the snap in and get the 50-50s and all that.
Yeah.
But that's all out of the game now since you can't do like more than one overhead with any character.
No, yeah, it's definitely tougher now. Like, I think another team kind of going back onto Vegeta, I think Blugeta is really strong. I've been playing him with Trunks recently. I really do like how Blugeta is starting to turn into like a more of like you can see him in different roles other than just point. But like I think this meta kind of gearing it towards that now. Like, have you guys noticed that everybody's playing Yamcha?
I
Well,
mean,
because
he's
Yamcha
yeah.
makes the game so easy. Like,
Like,
I'll be
it's
honest, when I,
it's
I, I sometimes have to test myself and be like, I'm gonna try to win this match like without Yamcha. Like, let me play some matches without Yamcha assist because it's just there's no other assist like it. No other assist in the game is the best whiff punish, the best combo starter, the best
Yeah.
combo extender, the best neutral tool. Like, other than the beam assist, but you can't confirm as easily off the beam assist.
I mean, and previously the one real caveat to playing Yamcha was, oh, he's a slightly weaker neutral character. I think we've reached the point in the game where it's not like Yamcha's free, right?
yeah.
It's not because, like, in other games, it tends to be, okay, snap and kill the assist. If you
Mhm.
snap in Yamcha, he's not a free kill. You have to deal with the pseudo DP, and he's good at stalling for time. Let's say you're bad at Yamcha, you could stall for time and get your Yamcha out. As long
No,
as you're
yeah.
not super obvious about it.
Yeah. This character is kind of like Phoenix in a sense.
Oh,
where it's
God.
like- and I keep bringing up Phoenix because like that's like the common FloKey joke that I love to bring up. Like I swear every time I see a new character, this character
Golden
is gonna be
Yamcha.
Phoenix.
You have 7 bars when Yamcha dies. He gets resurrected.
Until Lord Yamcha. Like
Lord
makes
Yamcha.
His assist goes full screen.
Oh my god.
I don't want to know about that. But no, yeah, I think if you're not playing Yamcha, you're playing Goku or Vegeta or Bardock.
Yeah,
It's like it's weird, or Goku Black if you're really feeling frisky.
that's
But
word
like,
for it.
it's weird. It's like there's a lot of characters that like you kind of see like certain roles already being filled. And I kind of talked about this a couple episodes ago, where I feel like every pool of character, like every slot now, has a bigger pool. I think the only exception to that rule potentially is Anchor. Like pool and like point and mid, like you can play a crap ton of characters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you might have to maybe pick a character that slightly like agrees with it. So like kind of playing Blugeta Gotenks, going back to that example, like pre-patch was like ridiculous, and like it was kind of a requirement. Like Vegito Gotenks is another really good example. Now, like Vegito Gotenks is like I've been saying this for months. I think Vegito Gotenks is one of the best shells in the game, like bar none. Now I don't think it's that good, but it's still very prevalent.
Vegito.
Vegito, yeah, not Vegeta. But I think Vegito and Gotenks is still like a very really good shell. But yeah, I think point and mid are like have a really deep pool, and like you, for example, like you're playing 17 Blugeta, like like anything is possible now.
Yeah.
It really, if you really sit down and think about it, we have Bum playing Nappa Majin Buu still.
Okay,
Shout outs
Nappa?
to Bum. Like,
Nappa.
Oh, you're
Nappa's
about to drop some
Nappa's an
Nappa
issue.
stuff right here.
oh,
Okay, no,
Nappa.
I don't play Nappa.
Okay.
But it's pretty crazy how he went from like bottom 5 to potential. Nobody's gonna play this character because nobody wants to use their brain.
Hey,
But if
hey, we've
you-
got Rogue Yoshi.
Oh, I know we have Rogue Yoshi, but I need to see him perform in tournament first. I really hope he gets good at this game because Nappa now is dumb. Like, you talk about there's set play and then there's Nappa. Like, he's on his own tier now.
See, here's the thing. Every time I've seen Nappa get buffed, I'm like, this is the patch that they're gonna make Nappa ridiculous. This is the patch that we're gonna make Nappa ridiculous. And I've not seen a single Nappa like be OD like and perform like The only Nappa is Rogue Yoshi and Bum. Two Nappas.
There's
And Abigail.
Abigail, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, but that's really like I haven't seen it. Like, I mean, and this patch is still fairly recent. Like, we're only like a month in.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope we do start to see like more of like these unique characters in tournaments and at high level and stuff. But you got to understand that these like players that do go out and compete and they have like sponsorships behind them, they want to play at like the highest level all the time, and they're not really going to drop their Bardocks and their Piccolos and their Yamchas or whatever because
they don't.
Like it is easier that way, and they've been playing it for so long, and they understand. Now, obviously, I know Nakio wants to play like base Goku. That's one of his favorite characters, but obviously he's not going to do that. I'm sure Sonic Fox has some character that he would want to play, but he doesn't. Beerus or Nappa. He played Nappa for like a week and got washed, and then he's like, I'm dropping him.
Hey, he beat Tatsunoko in the Nappa mirror. in Cali. I still remember that. It was so dumb. It was hilarious. Oh my god.
It was like planting everywhere. I really do like Nappa in this patch. I actually like Nappa. This patch too, I really like 21. I don't know why.
Everybody 21? Loves 21.
I don't know why I like 21. I don't know why.
Nappa before, I thought the only thing he needed, because he was a set play character that had like one of the worst neutral games in the game. Right. And so I was like, just make it so he can control his 236S. And they're like, yeah, we're going to give him that. And you can control Cyberman. And now his 5S is 2 hits. And now he can combo everything. And now he can do that. It's like, all right, chill out. Like, I just want to get it.
I asked for one thing and I got 12.
That's what I asked for the first Nappa patch. I was like, just make like, I was like, maybe they'll make 5L a low because he punches them in the like toe. And then he was like, 5L's a low, 5M's a low, 2M's a low. I was like, might as well make like 2H a low. Like, what did they do? And they're just going to make his whole kit a low?
That's what, honestly, I made a joke the other day. I was like, what? They're going to make Nappa's whole kit a low.
Yeah. Nappa can only hit low.
That would suck. Like, that would be, actually, no, like
that would be an interesting character design.
If you made his assist low, that'd be.
Oh my god!
It's like,
all right, FloKey, we're too far now. We're gone.
This is unblockable. This is Marvel 3.
He sets up Rose Garden.
Stop.
Yo, Cyberman Garden. Oh my god!
He has a super where he plants like 12.
That would have honestly should have been a super.
Yo,
what, he plants like a bunch of Cybermen?
Yo, what if his level 3 was he just punches the ground 3 times and rapidly plants 3 Cybermen?
It's like here I go.
Yo, they should have made him like Jacko from Guilty Gear, where he has like houses.
Oh no, he sets up huts with Cybermen in them.
No.
Nobody would still play him, but that would be pretty cool.
I'll put it this way: if he set up huts like Jacko, I would 100% play him with Ginyu. Purely for just Infinite Span.
Did you see that Aqua drop Ginyu?
As a Ginyu main, I did, and it breaks my heart. At this point, everyone who plays Ginyu at a high level has more or less dropped the character. Double L's dropped the character. Aqua's dropped the character.
Double L dropped Ginyu?
Double L is in the process, potentially.
He's not going to drop him. He plays a lot of characters, but...
He does, but he's currently looking to potentially phase out Ginyu.
Hold on.
That's his best character. That's what I felt like. I played Lord Knight at Frosty in casuals, and I was like, damn, his Ginyu's his best character by far. And he played Piccolo too, and I was like, his Ginyu's his best character, and then he dropped him the next time. I was like, what's going on?
It's kind of wild. At April Annihilation, after we went back to the room, me and Lord Knight ran Ginyu Super Saiyan Goku mirrors. And I'm a Ginyu main, and I just picked up Goku. But playing him in a 2v2 situation with Ginyu is wild. Like, the way he commands space and his calls are just perfect. Like, the amount, just trying to handle that. But he makes the point of when Ginyu has calls out, he is the best character in the game. When Ginyu does not have a force member on screen, he's 5 years old. He has no defensive options. That's it. And so you just kind of get messed up.
Well, I've talked about how neutral focus this game is, but it's also like pretty scramble heavy. It's a weird mix between super neutral based, and then when that scrambles happen, you gotta hope you get out. And that's why Bardock is so good in these characters with the really good auto combos, because they can get out where other situations or characters get hit.
Correcting auto combos
Yeah,
is
with
just
huge
so
hitboxes.
whack.
Let's not even talk about Team
It's
Gohans,
whack.
but
No, don't talk about Team Gohan.
we're not talking about
the
Team
kid,
Gohans.
The kid got no kid. Kid did too many squats. He did too many squats.
But what was I saying? I was talking about Ginyu, and yeah, Lord Knight's control, because when I played him, I beat him the first 2 games, and then he kind of like, I guess, started to get a read on my neutral.
Yep.
And he was just like, and then suddenly I couldn't do anything anymore. And then Piccolo started getting going. Every time I jumped, I was getting sword normal. And yeah. But I was like, man, you're Ginyu's your best player. And the next time I saw him play, he dropped him. And I was like, I don't know why these people are dropping their like best characters.
That's how
Which,
it should be.
if he really thinks that Ginyu is holding him back, then sure, go ahead. But
Well,
at some point,
his
like,
statement on the character from him personally is he said Ginyu will never win a major. And that if a Ginyu wins a major, that player will have to have been playing above everyone else who was there, like a whole level above them, or nobody who was a killer showed up. That's the only way he says Ginyu will ever take down a major.
I don't understand. That's not. I mean, okay, I understand his mentality, but first off, 17 won a major before the patch. I understand KIT was not stacked. You know, I got 3rd on my first tournament ever. We had Sweet JP get 2nd and Jazzar got 1st. No Kami got knocked out like 6th or something.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it wasn't stacked, but he still won a major. Like this, like Sonic Fox won Evo with Zamasu. It's not just about like the exact character decisions, and he's saying you have to play a whole level above them. It's like if you win, you'd be a whole level above anybody anyway, no matter what character you're playing.
Yeah, I agree.
I mostly just say as American players, I guess, because I just hear them a lot, but they blame their character picks so much that I think it really is like holding them back.
Well, part of the other thing that went with this, because I don't want to just isolate that one statement. It was this idea of stability.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard it because we had no Kami on, 6 weeks ago. He talked about picking high tier characters and why he plays them in tournament and why he's made certain decisions. And the idea is to help eliminate variance. And there are certain characters, like having played Ginyu is a volatile character in and of himself. When you play Bardock, you have a very consistent game plan and a very consistent kit. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to set up the same Oki. It's going to work the same way every single game. When you play a character like Ginyu, there are certain matchups that Ginyu struggles with immensely. And when he gets put into a losing situation, he struggles too much. And it becomes a liability. So if you're planning to constantly attack the best players in the world and defend against the best players in the world, you don't want to deal with that extra level of variance that's going beyond, what's going on in game. It's just ingrained into your character. And that for him, I think is the biggest thing. He believes in stability. And a lot of top American players, I think that's really what they're kind of honing in on. This idea of building stable teams.
But you can't say you believe in stability and you're switching teams every week. Like, there has to be stability in yourself as a player, too. I understand stability in characters, but if you're constantly switching teams, you're never giving yourself enough time to really, be stable with that team, period.
I think you're right in that regard. I mean, and that's why Fenrich did as well as he did. Because when you play a team if you play the same characters, like same 3 characters for 2,000 hours, you're going to have run into every single situation under the sun with that team, right?
Yeah, or at least most of them.
Right. And there'll be some new stuff, right? But you're going to know that team inside and out. You're going to know every single route. Whereas, when you're picking up new characters or you're trying out new teams every couple of weeks, you may be as good as Fenrich, but you will never reach that level of familiarity that Fenrich has achieved through consistency.
I agree with that. I really do agree with that.
I mean, it took me a long time to learn like all the scramble situations and what to do with Vegeta Blue. Like at first trying to confirm off of his auto combo or try to confirming off of, random stray hits and stuff like that. And there definitely is like a learning process. But then if you're switching characters, what happens when, let's say you pick up Bardock or like, let's say Piccolo, someone who's a little bit harder to confirm off random situations. Like, let's say you pick them up for the first week, and then you get that weird random hit, or like that weird, like you hit the second hit of the auto combo, and then what do you do from that? And like stuff like that, like out the air. Because Dragon Ball is definitely the king of every single time you play this game, you will see something you've never seen before, and something's gonna hit you in some weird ass way that like it's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But offline it is obviously a little bit more stable. The game slows down a whole lot.
Yeah.
And it's more trying to find that one mistake to punish your opponent and make the most off of it.
Mhm.
It's still early into season 2, and I haven't been watching too much top play right now. In terms of tournaments, I already said that I haven't watched. I didn't watch April Annihilation because I'm just like itching to compete again. After final round, every time I underperform at a tournament, I would just want to compete again.
You want to
but
get
they're so
back in
far away from
and
each other.
prove
Yeah, I know.
it.
You
Yep.
just want to re-roll the dice. Well,
I know. I really hope like every day I wake up and it's final round again and I get to play Dover again. But that's not going to happen. I have to hold that 25th place.
You have to wait until 2020. But speaking, kind of shifting gears a little bit, talking more about offline. You're from Memphis, Tennessee. Talk to the people a bit about Tennessee and your scene, since you got introduced to them right after KIT.
Yeah. So I live in a
So-
small town outside of Memphis, but obviously I'm really close to Memphis. So, like I said about I told that in the story that I went to KIT and they asked me where I was from. I told them Memphis and all that, and so they invited me to the Discord, and
Yeah.
it was guys like Fisho, Bishop, Shinblade, Memphis Legends, all these guys, Max Ninja, and that was the first time I've been introduced to an offline scene. Like really, I've literally never played offline before until KIT against somebody that like actually knew what they were doing. None of my in real life friends ever played fighting games, but yeah. I would always just sit in the lab, even way back before there was like online play. When I was a kid, I would just sit in training mode, play against the CPU, because that's all I had. Just watching these tournaments online back in like 2006 YouTube. But
I remember that. I
I
remember those days.
so yeah, Fisho and Bishop are like probably the main Dragon Ball players right now. Shinblade's been wanting to get into it since I've shown up because he wants to get better than me.
That's what you
Which-
did.
which ain't happening.
Oh, I like it.
Oh no! See,
So
we
then
had-
since then, oh no, go ahead.
we had Ricky on last week, and he called out mad people.
I watched a little bit of it because I just wanted to like see what the format of this was, and I saw him. Yeah, I heard him like calling people out, and I liked how he was talking about how that mentality when going against a top player, that even if you're an unknown name, like
Yep.
we're all coming in with that one mindset to win. People
Yeah,
always
sure.
come up to me like, dude, you got third at your first tournament. That's so good. And I was pissed. Like I wanted to win. That's not, I don't go there to, get third. I don't go there to maybe beat Dogra, maybe beat a top player. I'm there to win. Like, and I know I can, but obviously all that experience stuff comes into it. But
Definitely.
I'm just messing with Shinblade because he keeps calling me out and saying he's going to get better than me. But since then, I play offline with them a little bit. Fisho and Bishop are like the main Dragon Ball players. Most of the other people play like kind of a little bit of everything. But then
Okay.
through then, I found out about the Arkansas monthly. So I've been going to that every month since then, where I basically just go and win Dragon Ball and then just like kind of stand around. But I've been playing Eunice a little bit recently too.
Okay, so you got a secondary game you're looking at.
You've been dabbling.
Yeah, because they everybody freaked out when it was like it's on Evo, and then they were like, we made it $20. So I went and just picked it up because I was gonna play with some people, and they had it at that Arkansas special, and that was when they figured out that Trill was from Arkansas. So that was the first one he went to. I don't know if you guys watch Eunice, but Trill's one of the best American Eunice players, like period. He gets top 3, pretty much top 8 at every major, sometimes top 3. And so I went and played some
Right.
Eunice.
Side note:
Yeah.
How far is Arkansas, from Tennessee?
From where I live, going down to the local is like, or the monthly is like 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's not that bad.
Oh, okay. So I had to like Google. I actually Google mapped it. So I was like, brain was like, wait a minute. Tennessee's like somewhere over here in Arkansas. I may have been getting it confused with Miss Louisiana or whatever. So I was like, oh god.
FloKey, do we need to pull up a map for you?
No, I actually took 2 geography classes in college. again, and let's not talk about that. But so C's get the grease, fam. C's get the grease.
Oh goodness.
So Tennessee's been so you've been traveling a lot. You have a couple Tennessee players, BJP and a bunch of other cats. That's really good. And you started competing at KIT.
Yeah, that was my first tournament.
What was your first fighting game? I'm just curious.
My first fighting game?
Yeah, period.
Not counting Smash, 64. I'm assuming I played Soul Calibur 1, but the one I remember most vividly is Soul Calibur 2. So I basically played only Soul Calibur up until after 4. Because when 4 came out, that's when Xbox 360 came out. And Xbox Live was a thing. So that was the first time I ever got to play against an actual human being. And I was like, dude, this is legit. I used to be like 11 years old, hitting random select, absolutely bodying fools in Soul Calibur 4, dude. They would like start talking shit on the mic. They would start talking shit on the mic, and I couldn't like say anything back because I was like 11. I was like, what am I gonna say, dude? I'm gonna come in there and be like,
anything right now because I'm 11 because my mom will kill me.
I know what I'm gonna be like. Hold that. Like, what am I gonna say? They aren't gonna
hold that.
But this is an interesting story about how I actually got introduced into the FGC in general. Yeah. So Soul Calibur was like the main one. Obviously, Soul Calibur 2 is the big one because when Link came out, everybody was.
Soul Calibur 2 is a blessed game. As
it's
a
funny,
Voldo player,
somebody in the chat just said my fighting game was Naruto because
the
Naruto Ultimate Ninja games on the PS2 is what got me introduced to the FGC.
No.
Because I was playing that shit, and I had a really good friend in elementary school. We used to hang out all the time, and we were both into Naruto or whatever. But like I said, none of my in real life friends ever really played fighting games.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to get them into them because I was like so good. They always felt like, I'm never gonna be as good as you. And I was like, can you just practice? They're like, no. I was like, okay. So I would play that all the time by myself. And even as a kid, I was always interested in the highest level of competition. I've always watched like sports and stuff like that because I just like competition in general. So I was like 2006 YouTube, and I was like Naruto Ultimate Ninja PS2 tournament, and I found this channel, not only Full Armor Bass, but a channel known by Jason Axelrod or Jaxelrod, which was so I found like these super old footages of them doing like these tournaments. Maybe it was like weeklies or monthlies, but they'd be playing this game. And then way fast forward to when Soul Calibur 4 comes out, sure enough, he's hosting weeklies for Soul Calibur 4. And this is back when people like RTD and Bibulus used to go to these things, like really good. And Ramon even plays to this day. He plays at NOBC for Soul Calibur 6. Mm-hmm. But I got introduced to the fighting game like scene from that because I was like, dude, Soul Calibur came out. And then I was like, this channel I used to watch old Naruto games on is now uploading Soul Calibur. And then along with Soul Calibur, they were uploading like Street Fighter 4. So then I've heard of Street Fighter and Tekken and stuff like that, but I never played anything. So then I played I went on to Street Fighter, and then through that I found Tekken, and then Guilty Gear, and then BlazBlue, and then everything like just opened up, and I basically played like everything under the sun.
Sounds about right.
I love how it all started,
dude,
with Naruto. Like God bless early era YouTube, when if the video was in 480p, you were like, this is some high quality stuff right here. I can't count the pixels on the screen. So we're doing well right here. That is absolutely incredible. And that just catapulted you into the FGC through pure coincidence.
Yeah, pretty much just through him hosting the Soul Calibur weeklies.
Wow.
I mean, I probably would have eventually looked up like Soul Calibur tournament, but like I said, even as like a kid, I wanted to see like what the highest level players were doing, or at least the highest level players I could find. Because when I would just type in tournament, I was a kid and I was like, these must be the best players. So I was just like watching that stuff.
Oh my god, I love that lore though. I just like you stumble across a weekly and you're like, these got to be the best guy in the world. They're at tournament, right? And you're like watching some guys like duke it out
like random Johnny Bag of Donuts. Like, this guy is the best.
I was finding the CPU on like maximum handicap, and I was like, I didn't know any better. Like, it got so boring. I would just have to put the CPU on maximum handicap, so they two-shot me, and I was like, this is the only way I can play this game because I didn't have anybody to play with. And then, thank God for Xbox Live. So I
Oh,
could play some
those
full count
those
before.
those were legendary times. Climbing the Tower of Death.
Oh
What
my god,
truly Rock Lee and Sakura were so broken in the game that I
yo,
played.
Rock Lee, yo,
Rock
stop.
Lee,
How
round
the
start
fuck?
super. He was the original. The
His
round start
install.
super. It was safe.
Why did he have an install that made him faster and do more damage? It was absurd.
So
Like
good.
at the time, I couldn't appreciate what the hell was going on. But like as looking back, I'm like, this motherfucker had an install that caused. He was Phoenix. He was just Phoenix. He took damage and did too much damage in return.
Real talk though, those Ultimate Ninja games I think are like fighting game worthy. Like those two on the PS2. The PS2 games are so good. Storm's a little
It's-
different, and the Clash of Ninja like GameCube games were really weird.
Nah,
But
Clash of Ninja was actually a fighting game.
Rise of the
yeah,
Ninja
I like
chat.
that too.
Oh
Rise
my
of
god.
the Ninja.
No, stop. Rise of Ninja was cancer.
Oh my
Broken
god.
Bond was cancer. Stop.
So if you ever meet me in tournament and I like body you, I just want you to know that this was a guy who found the FGC through Naruto. That is giving you this work.
I almost wanna try to run a Naruto side event at a
All
major.
inner.
That
All
would
inner.
be godlike, right?
Dude.
It actually, if there's one game that I could run as a side event, and y'all are gonna laugh, right? Because this is not a real fighting game, but as far as I'm concerned, it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003 versus mode.
Oh my god, wasn't that the one that was before? Oh,
So
wasn't
the
that
reason I
the one
suggest
PS2,
this game,
right? PS2, right?
yeah. No,
Oh yeah.
So the reason I suggest this game, right, is I don't know what possessed me, but me and my roommate were like, we got to make a tier list for this game. Shredder's broken. Shredder is just a broken
Actually
character.
broken.
No, you want to know why? So this character, I want you to imagine this, right? This character has an aerial that takes up a fourth of the screen, and it auto cancels when it hits the ground, so he has no ending lag.
That's so good.
Now, the only character who could beat him was a grappler who could jump above it and, like, dive kick him. It was a wild game. I want to see people play it. I want to see people who play fighting games play this in tournament. I would put up the money for it just to watch people play this. It wouldn't be a good tournament, but it would be hilarious. And that's good enough for me.
That is so good.
If there's like one legitimate fighting game I wish would come back, it would be Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. That only died because of the system it was on. But I think that's like one of the best Capcom games to come out in a long time.
I'm gonna say this right. The chat knows. The chat knows. Oh, also, what up, Gian 1S? Hope I see you tomorrow at the freaking local. Calling you out right now, boy. Besides that, Street Fighter, Cross, Tekken.
You always show this, FloKey.
That game was good post patch. I will be on record saying that game was good. That game was good post patch. On launch, one of the worst fighting games of all time.
Whoa.
Post-patch?
On
No.
launch, it was still good.
No, that game was trash.
No.
Hell no. And the only reason I like Cross Tekken was that was the first game I picked two characters and they were top tier. I was like, is this what it's like to be unstoppable? Dude, I was playing fucking Lars Huaring. I was like, this is OD. I'm in people with same side cross-ups. What are you gonna do, dude?
I was playing Sagat Horong. Actually, there's actually footage. If you look up Mike Mason on YouTube, right? Mike Mason Street Fighter Cross Tekken. There is match footage of me playing in tournament with no beard. Like, this isn't a thing. Like, complete baby face. Playing Horong Rolento.
Huang, okay.
And then I switched to so I almost made top 8 my very first major, and I almost beat Justin Wong. Like, I think I lost 2-1, but I almost ran all the way back from losers. I almost made top 8 with Horong Sagat, and I was like, that team is still. Listen, all I want for my birthday, play Street Fighter Cross Tekken on my PS4. It's really all I care about. It's really genuinely all I care about.
Yeah, FloKey. Why don't you have FloKey's birthday bash? And the only game you run
It's Cross
is
Tekken.
Cross Tekken.
You know how mad
no,
people would be
I would
coming
run
in?
Cross
That's all they see.
I would run Cross Tekken, Dragon Ball, and Smash because I know
People come in
would-
ready to play some games to see
Oh
boss
my
fight,
god,
man.
could you
They're
imagine?
like, God damn it.
Make it free entry, right? And they all
Yeah.
sign up for all these different games, and they get there, and every setup is just cross Tekken.
Yeah, with Box Art Mega Man on there. That's all you see.
So our game was... Also, guys, if you have questions for the panel, that be myself, Pivot Ace, or Jay,
Yeah.
please put them in the chat.
We're just kind of talking about whatever. I'm sorry, I sidetracked everything.
Nah, yeah,
but-
No,
like,
honestly,
This
this
is the
is.
best. This is the best. This is what this podcast is kind of about. Just kind of like shooting the breeze, things.
Because we talked about Vegeta Blue for a bit, and then in terms of like the Tennessee FGC and all that, I can't talk too much on it because,
Look,
like I said, I only figured out
the
about
current
it. Found out
the
about
current
January.
topic is Naruto FGC. So really, we can
This is the
really
best.
just talk about whatever we want at this point.
Under the radar, yo, Naruto FGC. Yo,
It's the current topic. So I mean, what more do you
People are gonna
want?
come up there like, "How did you get so good at Dragon Ball?" I'm like, "Naruto, man. You know, play Ultimate Ninja."
It's like, yo, I remember the days when I grinded. With
Oh, and you know what? And then when this goes on YouTube, some kid's gonna be like, "Oh, well, this guy's got to be one of the best dudes. So I got to get out there and I got to get my copy of Naruto
Oh,
so
shit.
I can get
Come on,
good."
This guy's a great. Must be the best player in the world. I gotta go.
The cycle continues.
Oh shit! The next Tice will come up.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Next.
god.
That's really good. Gian said in the chat, we need a Guilty Gear version. So I agree. That would be
That'd be
sick.
godlike.
A Guilty Gear
Yeah.
version of Naruto would actually be pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Like if we had, listen, ideal scenario, right? If you gave me a Arxis made Naruto game or a One Piece game, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about the One Piece game they'd want like in a Dragon Ball style.
Yo,
When
like,
Dragon Ball initially got
give
announced,
me
I knew it was
Zoro.
gonna be so. Yeah, I was
no,
really
it's
hoping,
easy. You just take Kid Boo's model and you put a straw hat on him, and you're set. That's boom. You've made the character. The game's
He's
done.
probably already modded like that.
Give
Right?
me Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy can just be Kid Boo. Just take
No,
Kid
that's-
Boo's moveset 1-to-1.
More Kid Boos. What? So now we're gonna have Luffy players that just complain all the time about the character getting nerfed instead of Kid Boos?
Okay, so
Yeah, fair
one thing that Lowry said that killed me, right? He said every single patch, two things happen. First, everyone overrates Tien. And secondly,
I don't know about
Kid,
that.
everyone complains that Kid Buu got nerfed.
Second
it's
one-
just not
Everybody
true.
complains about Kid Buu got nerfed. Every Majin Buu player says they're dropping the character, and then
dude, everyone says I'm gonna pick up Piccolo now.
they always say some
And then
character
half
that moved up
people
like a place is like top 3.
That one always kills me, right? Like I love to see characters. Now the one character I will say I really feel like has made moves this season is Trunks.
Oh, yeah.
Trunks has moved up leaps and bounds. That character, he definitely he
You should be
changed
doing
his
front
own
flips
future.
and front floaties. Dude, that's all. Yeah, they changed his future by just giving him, hey, you can just flip off anything, and he can flip into flip. So just keep flipping around. They were like, we're just not gonna give him a low, but now you can just 50-50 anywhere.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I could just be like, ha! And you're just like, what do you do? I think someone said no.
17
for
still bottom
17.
tier. No,
Nah, I think 17
he's mid tier. He's mid tier.
I think 17's been mid tier. I think okay, Tice. Who's the worst character in the game?
Right now,
Yes.
Goku Black.
Oh
Don't
man,
leave.
we gotta have Nokami back on.
Yeah, I'll tell that to his face. I tell that to every Goku Black player's face. Your character's it's Goku Whack.
Goku whack.
Goku Whack.
Someone clip that. Someone clip
Oh
that.
my god. If
Wait. You think Goku Black's worse than Krillin?
Yeah, because Krillin at least has a low.
Okay, but here's the problem, right? So I agree with you to a certain extent because having a 2L is like godly.
It's not
important.
just the 2L. I'm talking about this from like an offline perspective. If you play somebody with decent enough defense, like you will not hit them. You can go back and watch VODs on my stream, even though they don't exist anymore, of me playing people online and timing out Goku Black players with 200 seconds left on the clock. Because they can't hit you.
As long as you can tech Dragon Rush.
If you can tech Dragon Rush, what is he gonna do?
I mean,
Now he does have a little bit of extra stuff. He has some setups.
That's too
And
soft.
he does have a beam assist. So I'm not saying you can't win.
see,
with
that's the
character.
thing.
I'm
That's
just saying
why
compared to
I don't
everybody
think
else-
he could be the worst character in the game. I
Because of his
don't think
assist?
he could be the worst character to get, literally because his assist is one of only like 3
So
beam
okay,
assists.
yeah. If you factor in his an assist, then Krillin would probably be worse.
Krillin's
just
worse
because
because The Rock is still terrible.
yeah, the Rock is still the Rock.
If The Rock
The
was
Pebble.
better, yes. But I don't know. I think Krillin just needs to yell Goku somewhere.
Look, if you just take Goku Black's 2H and you staple it on Krillin, he becomes a much better character. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, his little ass punch goes goes farther. Now
Just
he's
give
like,
Krillin massive disjoints and he'll be a great
yeah,
character.
So cancerous.
I think
though.
Krillin still has some stuff. It's a shame that like it's all gotten a lot worse since then, like his level 3 Oki and all that.
Yeah.
Since like what I think he did have. It's just like I think his kit in general. Now, obviously, again, this is just my opinion, and if anybody's listening, character tiers are never something you should take into full consideration. It's
Facts.
just people's opinions.
They aren't hard and
But-
fast.
Facts.
Yeah. Like the top 3 and the bottom 3 are usually kind of set in stone, but I mean, in a game like Dragon Ball, that doesn't even matter. You can win with anybody because
Yeah.
the game is, for some reason, it is balanced enough. Like the game is still pretty balanced
I mean, I do.
compared to other games.
Yeah, it's good about that, right? Because in a lot of games, the characters at the bottom of the tier list are like almost well and truly unplayable, right? In this
Yeah.
game, the characters at the very bottom of the tier list, are they worse than like everyone else? Yes. Are they?
Yeah.
Can you never win with them? No, right? You can still win with Krillin. Granted, you're going to have an incredibly hard time against a player of equal skill, but it's
Yeah.
still kind of doable. And actually, Gigantus, he actually brought up a good point, which is, yeah, like if Goku Black had a 2L, he'd be insane,
What I
right?
thought they should give him is, I think there's only one other character with this, but his 2L, they should have made it a low, but he's like one of the few characters that doesn't have a rapid hitting 2L low. Like it could just be a single hit.
Oh, so he has to commit to a single hit low if he wants to.
Yeah, so he would just like do 2L 2M instead of 2L 2L.
That actually wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I think that would balance him out.
They should have just given him something else. I feel like they just overlooked him in the patch. Like I was waiting for these Goku Black buffs because I thought he was like bottom 5 before the patch, and then I've always thought Goku Black was bad. After I think he was like the Wesker of this game, where everybody because people thought he was top 5. At the
Day
start.
one, he was
I know.
insane.
He was
We all
insane.
thought
Like, well,
Goku
I
Black.
even
when
thought
you
that. I
saw
thought he was
Goku
great.
Black's everywhere.
yeah, Goku Black was ever. I picked him up because I was like, I'm tired of losing to this character, and then I played him, and I was like, wait, he can't hit you, and then then he just like slowly started dropping until like no Kami's really the only one. Probably one of the best ones too.
Yeah.
Um,
Kami's still like, and now it's interesting, right? Because I've watched Kami play. He actually is still able to open people up, but it's less wailing on people with pressure and more baiting them.
yeah, because his normals are still ridiculous. Like really good
Yeah.
auto combo, 2H is insane, 5H is insane. All of his normals are good, and then air dive kick and catching people if they have bad neutral and they're just not, playing like a safe neutral.
Yeah.
And he's got really good supers, so if you land a hit, you can make a good amount of it. Obviously, his assist is a beam assist, so that's good. I just think personally, from like, if you took like a one-on-one of every single character, like if I was Krillin and my opponent was Goku Black, I would like my chances like with Krillin in that setup,
Yeah.
in that situation.
Yeah.
But even then, like Krillin could be worse. I don't know. I don't know everything about the game. Obviously, I don't even.
Yeah, Coach Steve does play Jiren. For those asking in the chat, Jiren does see play.
Oh yeah, he's like the best Jiren I've seen so far. I know Verdane played him for like a little bit, but I don't think he plays him.
BDK also from New York also plays Jiren. He actually switched
Yeah.
from Gohan, which I was kind of upset about.
Coach Steve kind of gets rid of the whole stigma of you need 2Ls on your teams because he only has
Yeah.
Bardock and then he has Vegito and Jiren. Although I've been a mad Vegito supporter since like he came out. I thought he was top like 5 before the patch. That character's
Yeah.
dumb.
That's another. I would say the three characters who have picked up the most steam coming into this patch, previous to where they were before. 21, Vegito, and Trunks. I think those three characters have all gained so much momentum across the board.
I agree. But we all thought I know a couple people are kind of still on the fence about Vegito. Some people were like, "Oh, the meter nerfs. Character's still good. He can still kill you."
He's the best
Like-
battery in the game.
Like,
Yeah,
he
him
can
and 17 are the
still
best
do
batteries.
things.
Yeah.
The difference is Vegito has some of the best normals in the game, while 17 has some T-Rex limbs. But yeah, if you have good normals in this game, you aren't going to be a bad character.
Yep.
Other than I know I said that about Goku Black, but Goku Black is an exception, I think. But and then again, that's my opinion. People have him like, mid tier. So
Yeah. Teen Han is also a good battery, but doesn't quite reach the level Vegito does, purely because of the
Yeah.
multi-hits that Vegito has. Now, they did cap Sword a little bit. One of the big things they changed was Sword. It doesn't change the height the way that it used to before. There was actually more optimal combos pre-Sword change. So he got toned down ever so slightly, but really doesn't matter all that much. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, he's still very good at what he does as a character.
Christian says 17 player will win this next tournament. I'll try.
Can we just say something?
What?
You say Teen Han? Is it Tice? Is it Teen Han or Tohan?
It's Teen Hogan.
To Gohan.
To go
To go-
on.
Ah! Everybody has different ways of saying, like, Teen Gohan. Like,
I think I
you can't
just say-
say Teen Gohan.
I think I just say Team Gohan, and then I call Do Gohan Gohan.
That's
So-
not how it would be, though.
If they put Gid Gohan in the game, I'm fucked.
It's like, no, Gohan's next.
Yeah, I have loved the Teen Gohans now. There's so many more. Okay, one thing, and I'm gonna state this because I was seeing it a lot at April Annihilation, and people need to know what to do. When Gohan sits there, and you're in a block string, and he jumps back and he throws a Ki Blast at you, do not reflect it and stand there. Please. Please. I watched so many people, what they would do is, and Chris G was getting away with this, until the only person I think called him on it was oh my God, Jace. Jace was the only one I saw super dash him.
Oh, you mean like the bomb?
Yeah. No, literally.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players not.
A
do
lot
that.
of people, I literally would just watch. They would just sit there and either one, get hit by it. Don't let that happen. Or
If you
two,
get hit by bomb, you're dead.
well, this happened to Grover actually. Grover reflected it like 2 or 3 times, but he just kind of stood there. And if you don't get out instantly, T Gohan just jails you again. He just resets the pressure. So please, if you see T Gohan do that, just super dash it at least once. Make him scared to do it. It's not.
Yeah.
Don't make it free. As a commentator, it's just something that I personally noticed, and I just want viewers, listeners to be aware of.
No, 100%. That's really big. So Tice, you're kind of new still, but you're kind of been grinding a lot. And you kind of encapsulate what. And I think Jay can also say the same thing. I think Pivot Ace is like a really good example of like what Under the Radar kind of stands for,
Absolutely.
and like kind of being one of the up and coming people, especially with Blugeta like at the helm, like defending for Bulma. Like
Okay.
you find for Bulma. Pivot Ace, do you play on?
Yeah, I play on PC right now. I don't really play online that much anymore since I started competing offline.
That makes
But-
sense.
I have it on both, but I was always a PC player. I was one of the first like living legends on PC or
Oh
whatever.
man.
Back
I'll-
when it like mattered.
I mean, you'll wash
Living
me,
Legend was a
but I would
rarity.
love to run some sets sometime.
No, but
I would
I
be-
played some sets today. I played Jado. If you guys know who Jado is, he got a.
I know.
He he played well at NEC. I used to play him online all the time, and I used to beat him. But recently, he's been like kicking my ass because I don't play online anymore. And I was like, damn, it really be like that. But
really do.
17 online is also a struggle. Oh my god. But,
that's
Yeah. I'm always down usually to play sets. Since I've been so itching to compete, I have been playing a little bit online recently. I have the Arkansas monthly at the end of this month, and then I've already registered for Combo Breaker.
Nice.
And I'm on the fence about Texas Showdown. So
Okay.
Texas Showdown will cost a good amount of money for me to go to, just like Combo Breaker would be.
Yeah.
But like I've been saying is that I go to Frosty, I don't do as well as I want to. I come back home, I'm like, damn, I want to play again, and then I have to wait a long time. And the same thing happened to Final Round. So going to a tournament like 2 weeks before Combo Breaker, I think would be really good from like a standpoint of I'd be ready and I'd be prepared. Let's say I don't do well at Texas Showdown, then I'll really be ready for Combo Breaker, which would be something really good to do well at. So I'm
It's like
a
a mental stability thing.
yeah, because I just need to keep playing until I get over these nerves. Like if I can get over my nerves, I'm gonna win a tournament. Period.
I mean,
Like
if you were able to take Dogura the distance, like that shows a certain level of competency.
if my hands literally weren't shaking as I was playing him, I would have won. Like I know I would have, could have, should have. He was the better player than me for that set still because he won. But
Yeah.
that's just what comes with like inexperience.
You're kind of like in like a lot of people like that we've had kind of have been like one of like more on the veteran side of things, like have been doing it for a long. I think you're one of the first people that like are still going through the nerves because that's like like I know me, I can vouch for myself. I know that's like a big thing. Like I have to deal with sometimes with nerves. So you listen to music, which is actually really really smart. Also, press F for
he's from my stream. He watches me all the time.
Reese's got shot.
I'm sorry Nightbot took you out. That was unfortunate.
Nightbot literally did he did Big Bang Attack. He literally did Big Bang
Oh,
Attack.
he got him with the first hit of the Big Bang Attack.
Big Bang Attack.
It comboed in
He
this
got the Big
time.
Bang. You talked about me listening to music, and that actually I started doing that because at Frosty, because I think at KIT, I don't know if they had headsets at every setup. I don't think so, but they did on I was on stream for a lot of that tournament. And then at Frosty, I never get put on stream. I was supposed to be put on stream when I played Cloud, but he had he pulled his groin or whatever, so he just had to get out of there right after a match. So I wasn't on stream then. So I kept playing on these setups with no headphones, and I was like, I really just want to hear game sound. So I was like, I'm just gonna start listening to music and get used to playing like that because it is hard for me to concentrate with everybody talking and moving around. And then when people shouting in my ear every time I command grab Dogura, even though listening to music didn't help.
Yeah. Talk about Hit's new Glock. The
he got
cannon.
The cannon.
Oh, the bass boost.
The
bass boost. What?
Yo,
you need to be stopped. You need to be stopped.
I actually can't be stopped. See, little did you know, once you put me on the desk at an event, you can't get me off. It's over. It's actually over.
If I ever see you at an event, in your commentating, I'm literally gonna walk over and
my God.
do the makeshift I grab the hook and try to pull you off, and then I'll just come over under the radar podcast and then just leave.
No, I totally feel you. I'll have to keep my eye out for the next event that you're at, Flo.
No, definitely. I don't know what that's looking except Tuber TSB. Comment. Okay, and then that's a whole other can of worms, John. For I actually had a stream probably maybe after the pod. But what advice would you give yourself, or you give anybody that's trying to grind right now, Mr. Tice, about just characters and just mentality? I know you've been going through a lot of nerves kind of stuff. I know that's kind of kind of an overarching theme. But what other advice would you give players that are trying to stay out of the box and not play the Piccolos? It's kind of weird to say that because I'm a Piccolo player myself.
Yeah.
Like a Bardock, things like that.
Because I talked about it earlier. I think from my point of view, the way I always view fighting games is it's really just simple as play characters you want to play. If you're playing a character you want to play and then you think they're hindering you from winning and you're trying to take it seriously, then you should probably switch and try to find another character that you can enjoy. But if you are playing a character you enjoy and they might not be top 3 or whatever, and you still feel like you're doing well and you never feel like I lost because of this character I'm playing, then stick with them. Because everybody has their own style in fighting games. That's what's the coolest thing about it. It's not really just character versus character, it's player versus player. No other person on the planet plays the exact same way I do. Nobody plays the same way Nokami does, or Goichi, or Kazunoko. Everybody has their own different style. And you see all these different styles in Dragon Ball winning, from Goichi to Kazunoko to Sonic Fox to, whoever wins that tournament. So, if, in terms of fighting games, I think about it more of I guess, not a philosophical standpoint, but I'm trying to play against the player I'm playing against. I'm trying to get in their head and try to think of them as a human being, which is why I think I was able to come out the gate and do so well early. It's because even when I played Nokami on stage, I wasn't thinking, oh shit, this is Nokami. He's top 8 Evo finalist. He's a renowned player.
Yep.
I'm some nobody. He's going to be unbeatable. I'm thinking it's just a guy that plays the game. Like, now obviously I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I got to me in Dogura, but that was just because the pressure of if I beat Dogura, everybody's going to be asking, who is this guy? Like,
Right.
who is this guy that beat Dogura? Where is he? Because everybody was saying Dogura was free. Nakio made like his predictions. He was like, Dogura winning his bracket free and Apology Man losers. Like, he said Dark Horse was Scrot Vermillion, who wound up beating me in losers finals. But I was like, as the name of the podcast, I'm still under the radar, and I'm just trying to like get my name out there. But that comes with results. And if you're somebody that is an online warrior, or you think you want to start competing, even if you're not, you say like you're thinking you're not near the top level yet, I still recommend going, because everybody in the FGC is nice. So everybody will be there to play games with you, to help you get better. Offline obviously is so much better than online and will help you level up in a lot. But if you are going to compete and you're going to come out and this is your first tournament and you're a nobody, it's just all self-confidence at that point. Like, you have to believe that you're godlike. Like, I'm walking through every single tournament knowing that, like, I'm better than this guy, or at least I'm thinking that, like, I gotta, not arrogance, but self-confidence. Like, not I'm going to beat this guy because he's bad, but I'm going to beat this guy because I believe in myself. And I know that I'm here for a reason.
Yeah. That's really a healthy way to look at it. Because I think a lot of you hit it, you described it perfectly, in that you're drawing your confidence from yourself, not because you think the other person is an easy win.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because people get caught, Flo, I'm sure you've seen people get caught up in that before.
That's been me firsthand. Seriously. Like, I had to play, there was a part of me that was like, I had to play Mill, and I love you still, but I was like, man, if I beat Mill, I get to probably play Dragon God. I have a track record of being Link, so I was like, word. And then I overlooked it, and I got cooked. And it's just like, you're constantly learning in these kinds of games. Like, every new chapter, like every new like tournament's a new chapter, and like how well did you like take in from what happened at last event and worked on it and stuff like that. And it's really important to kind of see your progress. Like, I've been in the game for like years.
Yeah.
And like, it's not been until now where I'm like looking at my progress, and I know you're doing the same thing, where you're like, you only been 3 tournaments in.
I'm not gonna lie, Pivot, I'm still stuck on that. Like, you're 3 tournaments deep and you're already.
Well, people were saying that because
making moves
KIT
like
was my
this.
first one and I got third, and they were like,
Well,
they couldn't even believe that was my first tournament. But like I said, I'm probably just a little bit more confident than most, I guess, because
No.
I've been watching these tournaments since I was in elementary school. I was like,
it's so
I
dope.
want to compete.
Look,
like,
Naruto taught you to believe
Look,
in yourself.
Believe it.
Believe it. I was gonna become Hokage. I was gonna.
He needs to become Hokage. One question before we get to notes and kind of the wrap up. What would you improve on 17 as a character in the game?
Honestly, right now, I think he's fine. I don't know why they made Power Blitz into Vanish not a true block string anymore, which means when you run out of assists with 17, it can be a struggle on like what to do in block strings. You kind of have to go for an unsafe option unless you just want to cut it off early with Key Blast. But I don't know. I think they did what they needed to do. He should have been able to true block string in the Rekka. They made his 2M a little bit better. They made slide better. I was gonna go back just real quick and talk about not just improving as a player, and you're talking about that each tournament is like a different chapter,
by all
and then
means.
it's not just like my nerves as a player. There's also like real life stuff comes into a factor too.
True.
The reason I did so bad at Frosty is because I wasn't prepared for there being a 6-hour wait between my pool match and my match after that. I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I was sitting there watching Melty Blood for whatever reason, like the whole time. I was falling asleep there, and they were like, "All right, Pivot, you're up." And I had to go play Gudeta, and I just got washed. Like, make sure you hydrate, make sure you eat food, make sure you're well rested. You got to understand that tournaments are a whole different factor because you're not playing in the comfort of your own room. You didn't get your, 8 hours of sleep. You aren't You haven't had like 3 waters. You're at a tournament setting. You know, there's people around you. You're playing on a setup in the middle of a venue. You gotta make sure you're physically all there, and then mentally you gotta make sure too.
Right.
You gotta make sure you talk to everybody, make sure everything's good. But Pivot Ace, this has been an actual pleasure. We talked about a lot of topics tonight. We believed it.
we believe.
There was a lot of belief going on in here.
There was. Listen, when I asked you to be on the podcast, because I believe the hype. The hype.
Well, thank you.
No problem. Blugeta definitely is one. You're definitely under the radar when it comes to your play. 100%. I totally agree with that. You're definitely somebody to look out for. But I think Blugeta is still under the radar as well. So it's just fitting that you're on the podcast.
You fit this to a T. I could literally not think of somebody better for this.
Yeah.
I want people to think of me though as like one of the best players, not just the best.
But here's the thing. Now you're the best Blugeta. Now you've got to figure out how to translate that into becoming the best player. And I think with the mentality that you have, that mixture of confidence, but also, understanding, because there's a lot of people who play this game, but not a lot of people who I think really take the time to try to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this game in general,
just in general. And I feel like you're someone who you're taking that deep dive. You're not looking to go, this is my combo. You're looking to go, this is how I need to play the match. This is what I need to do. And I think it's going to carry you a long way. And I think if you stay on the path that you're currently on, my man, I don't think you're going to be under the radar that much longer. I'll put it that way.
Well, here's hoping, because I mean, one other tangent, then I'm going to plug my shit and then I'm going to leave. But and then we can wrap it up. When I was at Fun Around, it was like, I will say Fun Around was the worst loss of my short fighting game career so far, not just losing to Dogra, but how, like, I thought I played well. It was just like coming down the nerves. And then when I was there, since I knew No Kami from KIT, obviously he didn't like me at first because I did beat him, but we started to talk some more and like the beef was over. But he came up to me and he was like, you're going to beat Dogra. Like, I played you and I played Dogra. I know you're one of the best players, period. And I know Dogra is. And I'm like, but you're better. Like, you got this. And I feel like I let him down and I let everybody else down who, like, I went there to play for it, not just myself, but like everybody. Hopefully with the coming tournaments, I've either gotten over my nerves or like more experience can come and I can be the best player that I can be.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't want to just be known as the best Vegeta Blue. I don't even want to be known as just like the best Dragon Ball player. I want to be one of the best fighting game players, period. And I think I can do that. It's just, it'll obviously take some time. And then I guess after that, I'll plug at pivot_ace on Twitter if you want to follow me on Twitter.
Yep.
You can support me even more by a stream at twitch.tv/pivotace. It's just one word.
Yeah, be sure to give this man a follow.
I'm going to drop it in the chat
right
now. Oh, I got cooked
Get
by
shot!
Nick.
Get
No!
shot!
Hold on.
I got shot!
Shot on your own podcast.
I'm so upset.
All right, you know what? Nightbot, I'm overruling you.
Yo, thank you.
Hey,
and my next tournament for sure is Combo Breaker. I'm still on the fence about Texas Showdown, but you'll definitely see me at Combo Breaker. So be sure to support me and root for me there.
Hey, absolutely, my man. I mean, beautiful, beautiful stuff here. And I mean, I think that just about wraps it up here. I hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast tonight with the absolute Blugeta legend, Pivot Ace, coming in here, talking all this good stuff. And I think really unpacking a lot of incredible things here in the FGC. Well, anyways, I have been your boy JDiesel.
I've been FloKey.
And I'm Pivot.
And this has been Under the Radar. Peace out, guys.